Welcome, colleagues, friends, supporters. Welcome to Cowley College. Today is an exciting day for Cowley College and all of Tiger Nation. For the first time in decades, we are welcoming the Kansas governor to our campus to celebrate our accomplishments and offer him an insider's look into our college, a place that you as staff members and community supporters have helped propel to great heights and a place that we affectionately call home. As we have many of our staff present today, I would like to take a moment and recognize all of our full and part-time employees. And so if you could take a moment, employees, and please stand, and we'd like to recognize you. We'd also like to extend a special welcome to Mike Helstab, who represents the office of U.S. Senator Moran, and for him being here with us today. We'd also like to thank and appreciate and extend our welcome to the Board of Trustees, Foundation Board members, several area legislators, and those that we saw this morning, which were not able to make it back to, as far as to Arc City this afternoon. We'd also like to thank and for those joining us from the Cowley County and Sumner County Commissioner's offices, as well as elected officials, and a host of other community leaders and college supporters. Thank you for joining us today. At Cowley College, frequently we talk about the many values and opportunities that Senate Bill 155 affords to us. It's a program that has afforded our high school students the opportunity to take technical education coursework at little to no cost. This important legislation was championed by Governor Brownback, and I hope you'll join me in thanking him and his commitment to Senate Bill 155 funding. It helps our students, and our students are proof that that bill is working. Can we take a moment and thank him? At the governor's annual State of the State speech at the beginning of this year, Governor Brownback, in his legislative session, put out forth a message, and he said he asked Kansas schools to offer a baccalaureate degree for $15,000 or less. Many people thought this goal was out of reach, but not those of us at Cowley College. We heard the governor's call and got to work figuring out how we could make a $15,000 degree a reality for Kansas students. And that's why we're here today. High school students attending Cowley College can achieve their associate's degree during high school and then transfer on to Fort Hays State University for degree opportunities that cost less than $15,000. Governor Brownback, if I could now invite you to the stage, sir. Governor, we have heard the challenge, and it is with great pleasure that we say we accept the challenge, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And complete with confetti, too. Thank you very much, Dr. Riddle. Thank you. And thank you all for what you do here, and the teachers and the people that work at the place and the professors. It's deeply appreciated, what you do and what you're doing for Kansas students, what you're doing for them in this area. One of my children's a professor, teaches at the University of Arkansas. I want him to teach here, but that's where he got the job. I've taught at the university level, and I'm a big believer in education. But it's gotten too expensive. It's gotten too expensive for too many students. The biggest area of debt growth in the country is student loan debt. It's grown bigger now than credit card debt. And you're looking at this and you're just going, this is just, it's too high. It's too much. And so then it becomes beyond the dream and beyond the pale for way too many students in this state and in this country. So as we were preparing the State of the State message this year, my staff and I, we were kicking around, what can we do on these issues? And we saw a couple of other states that had stepped up and made and put forward challenges to create a degree program for a lesser price tag. They had actually set it at $10,000. And we called over the Board of Regents. We were saying, can you do that? And they said, make it 15 and we'll do it. And I said, okay, we'll make it 15. And you guys are the first ones to step up and accept the challenge. And thank you for doing it. Thank you. I don't know if you recognize how important this is, because we have to have an educated workforce. And if somebody that comes out of high school, that we need really about 70% of the people coming out of high school to get some post-high school, post-secondary certification, degree, some abilities that are developed that they can enter into the workforce. We need 70% to hit that. We're nowhere near that right now. And most people, they start to look at college and they say, I can't get there for that. I can't afford that sort of price tag. You're creating a pathway for young people in this area in particular to be able to realize that baccalaureate degree for a price tag that they can afford and their families can afford, so that they can move on with their success. And it's critically important that we do that for them and make those opportunities available. And I think by you stepping up this way, there'll be a number of other institutions and partnerships and pathways that people will say, no, wait a minute, if they were able to figure this out, we can too. And I know already of a couple of other colleges in the state, four-year institutions, that are talking with various people about how do we create this pathway. When I first put the challenge out there, a number of people said, you can't do it, it can't be done. It's not possible, given the cost structure that we have in higher education in this state and in this country. And by you proving that there is a pathway, it's like really stepping out there early on and showing and being the pioneer on it. Now, there's an old saying, too, about pioneers and settlers that I hope is not true for you. They were telling me this one, a guy was this earlier this week. He said, pioneers get the arrows, settlers get the land. And I thought, well, I don't think I like that idea. But when you pioneer something, there'll be people that shoot at you because you're doing something different. This breaks out of the mold. It's not quite the path we've had before. But by doing that, you're really opening up just whole new ways for people to move forward in an opportunity and in a way that they need. Also, I want to thank you for what you do on Senate Bill 155, the technical education. Again, when I came in, we were looking at these numbers, and we were declining in the number of our students in this state that were going into technical education when I came into office. The number was actually slipping. And, we were looking at that going, that's going the wrong way. But we need this to be increasing. And we're trying to figure out, well, how do you make that grow? How could we do this? And one of the people on my team was saying, if we could just make it such that while you're in high school, you could take technical education and get certifications, and the state pay for it, I think this thing could really marry up well and grow. So what the state did is we stepped up and we said, if you're in high school, we will pay for all technical education while you're in high school in needed fields. There were some fields that we didn't pay for, but by and large, most technical education fields. We were at that time at about 3,300 students, high school students in the state of Kansas taking technical education. Now we're at about 10,000 high school students taking technical education with Senate Bill 155, with the state providing about $12 million of funding, which is well worth it and highly supported by me and by most of the legislature, saying this is real lead on the target, helping somebody to move forward in their life. And you don't have to stop there. You can get your technical training and then decide, you know what, I think I want to go ahead and get a baccalaureate degree. Good. And then I can work as a CNA, or I can work as an IT person, or I can work as a welder, working my way on through college. Great. Well, I don't want to stop there. I want to get my master's and doctorate. Fantastic. This creates those opportunities and ways to make college affordable. And it's one of the big needs we have in this country today, and certainly in our state. So I really want to thank you for taking the challenge on, because it's important. We have our budget challenges as a state. We're working our way through it. We're going to make it through it. A big part of our problem has been just the fall off of commodity prices, both oil and agriculture. Our commodity industries have really had tough several years. My family farms, and our prices are way down. Now, thankfully, this last year, we had a great crop. We had the best soybean crop we've ever seen, so that helps make up for low prices some, and it did statewide. We had a record harvest in this state this past year, but it's been difficult. We're starting to pick back up, and then what I really think you're going to see, I think you're going to see a lot more manufacturing stepping up in the United States. been reaching out to the people that have been coming to Trump Tower and saying they're going to create jobs. One of them owns Sprint. It's SoftBank in Japan. Owns Sprint that's in Kansas City. And he came there and he said, I'm going to invest $50 billion in the United States and I'm going to create 5,000 jobs. And I was on the phone the next day to the CEO of Sprint saying, I want those in Kansas. I want them to come here. And we're talking with them about what share of those jobs comes here. We really need to expand. I want to see us build more jet engines. We do a lot of airframe work in this area. And we are the best place in the world and the most diversified airframe manufacturing market in the world. There is not another place like South Central Kansas, anywhere else in the world for building airframes. Well, I want to take it the next step, and I want to build the engines too. And you're starting that. Here at Struthers Field, we've got some of the first engine manufacturing. We've done remanufacturing. We haven't done the original manufacturing. We're starting to do that here. Another set, another field. And it's a high-end manufacturing. And manufacturing jobs, I believe, can come back to the United States. I was meeting with a group of investors yesterday about bringing more manufacturing into Kansas. And some of it was in electronics, some of it was in solar. This can and will happen. And there's some people that they don't think it's fair for America to say America first. Okay? There's some people who think that's selfish, that you would think of yourself first. But you can't give what you don't have. And if America's not growing, if America's not building itself up, it can't be generous and helpful in places around the world. If we're not doing well, we can't give. You can't give what you don't have. But if we're building up and if we're becoming stronger, we can do more things. But we got to build up. We got to do things here. And we've got to do them well, we've got to do them world class, and we can. So I'm excited about this opportunity. It's going to be difficult, and I think the new president's going to make all sorts of mistakes. I have no doubt about that, and I haven't agreed with everything he's done, and he wasn't my pick in the primary. But I am glad to see him stepping up and leading the country and saying, let's get this place going again. And I think we should all celebrate that, regardless of one's view, that we want to get this place building. We want to manufacture. We're a great manufacturing state. We're a great export state. We export a lot. We got way too few people, and we're way too productive to consume everything we build here or that we grow here or the energy that we produce here. We've got to have platforms to get it shot out across this country and across the world, and we do. And we do it better than any place around the world. We are good at it, and we're going to keep being good at it. We've got to get the investment, we've got to get the training, we've got to get the technology, and we've got to be able to put it all together, and we are. So you're a key part of that, being able to train that next generation of workforce to do it at a price they can afford, stepping up and taking this challenge. And so I deeply appreciate you doing it. And I hope you feel a sense of good, a sense of awe that you're really in the middle of this, making it happen for young people. My wife and I, we have 5 children, and each of them's different, and they each need something a little different. And you're there helping them be able to achieve that different dream that each one of them has. And I hope you feel a pleasure, I guess is really what I want to say, a pleasure in being a part of that in this great country. And it'd be remiss of me if I didn't say one thing about your former congressman from this area, Mike Pompeo. Mike's a good friend of mine. He is going to do a great job at CIA. I hope you're keeping him in your prayers. I don't know if that may be one of the most difficult jobs in the world today, and one of the most important is how we gather intelligence and use it. And he is at the head of it. And he's smart and he's tough, and that's what we need. And he needs our prayers because this world is not a stable place. And there's a lot of angst and anger and passion in many places. And it's important and incumbent upon America to lead. And America to lead strong. America to lead wise. But it's important for us to lead. Because if we don't, the other people that step up don't have the same heart or attitudes that we do. They just don't. And I've been in many of these places around the world, and they can be fine people, but their heart and attitude isn't what ours is. Ours is, we want a stable place where people can do well. We're not asking to take anything from anybody. But we want a stable place where people can do well. I want to just say a final thought on this. Tony Blair spoke to a joint session of Congress right after 9/11. And many of you will remember 9/11. If I'm seeing the crowd right, you're getting closer to my age than you are younger ones. And you remember how struck we were as a nation at that point in time. And we'd gotten hit in a way that we hadn't seen, and we didn't know what was going on. We kind of had a lot of questions. Tony Blair stood up there, addressed a joint session of Congress. I was sitting there, and he went off script at one point in time, and he said, there's a lot of people probably in America right now, in Idaho or Wyoming, a place I haven't been but I hope to go to, that are asking, why me and why now? Why are we being called upon as a nation, the United States, to lead, and why now? And he said, it's just your calling, and it's your time, and it's your duty. And I didn't think anybody could put it any better. And I don't know if I've heard any more patriotic of a speech than I did out of the British Prime Minister for the United States. It is our time. It is our calling. And we've got to be strong and determined to do it. And we can. We can. And we will. Thanks for being here. God bless you all.
Mr. Governor, I would tell you that the low commodity prices, Dennis Shirt's fault. So you can talk to him afterwards. Yeah, he can fix it all. Mr. Governor, on behalf of Cowley College, the Board of Trustees, the students, the administration, and the community, we thank you for joining us today and allowing us to showcase how we are changing educational goals. Educational opportunities change lives. We're honored to work alongside of you and our legislators to continue our part in providing a quality education. Thank you for sharing your day with us. Thank you for sharing your day with us. Let's go Tigers.